Welcome, everybody. It's Stefan Rudolph coming to you from New Foundations Growth Group, and wanted to bring together today, bring to the world today here a beautiful woman, Karyn Cartwright, coming all the way from New Zealand area, and we have a great topic here we're going to discuss today, because what we focus on here at New Foundations Growth Group is the energy, the awareness of growth, and what we bring about, and also overcoming obstacles. Because Karyn works in that area of overcoming and helping people with their shadow side, as she says. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Karyn. Karyn, how you doing?
Hi guys. Hi, nice to meet you all. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, all the way from, what is it, halfway across
New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm just up from Antarctica. So
Okay.
we're right, pretty much as close to the bottom of the world as you can get without freezing your ass off.
Yeah, but always like staying positive and growing as you are. That's what I love, reaching out to people like yourself and hearing it from all over the world, right?
Yeah. I think New Zealand is a really interesting development point. I think we see the world from such a different perspective, and we're also we're a global little country. We travel the world the most. We take influence from everywhere, opposed to like our media and our everything pretty much is completely international. So we grow up knowing American history and heritage and culture. We know English culture. We get the Eastern and the Western. We get a little bit of everything, and we love taking the best out of everywhere and developing it and making it our own. Kiwi ingenuity is something that's really strong in this country, which is finding a problem and finding a solution that no one else has thought of, and doing it and making life as simple as possible, finding the shortcuts to what you need.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's what I want to bring to the listeners always, as someone like yourself that's been through a lot, but also now you're into personal development and helping people, especially with what caught my ear and my eye is the shadow side and overcoming these obstacles in life. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your business, which is Nourish Your Inner Light, right? And what you've been doing for people.
Yeah, well, Nourish Your Inner Light started off for me about, originally it started with health. I suffered from fibromyalgia. I had.
Past tense,
Pretty much asymptomatic, which is unheard of as far as textbooks go, and it's something I'm incredibly proud of. And I was so adamant and super excited about helping other people shift past the mindset of being unwell. And particularly even with allergies and things like that, people kind of get this, I can't, my life is limited. And showing people how to move past that and make the best out of shitty situations. And that kind of feeds into, your relationships and overcoming abusive relationships and all that sort of stuff, and making that climb back into the light and being your best self and reconnecting to who you are without pushing down or blaming or hating on yourself for the accidents or the bad things that have happened in your life. Making that the best part of who you are, opposed to the worst part, or this I'm proud to have fibro because of what it taught me and the lessons and the skills that it gave me that I would have never been able to tap into had I not experienced that illness and all of the challenges that came with overcoming it.
Literally, like the tapping solutions, as we know, and other areas where people meditate and you become thankful. I love that. I had epilepsy in the past as well. I did the exact same steps of being the attitude of gratitude, as we call it, and thankful for the dis-ease in our life. And it sounds like you were able to bring that dis-ease into a state of ease and overcome that. And
there's gifts in everything that you do. I'm, funnily enough, for talking shadow side, I am completely in love with a form of yoga called shadow yoga, which I think is so funny, the fact that is where I'm attracted. And as it panned out, fibro has taught me, has given me a better in-depth and skill to learning this particular form of yoga, because my body stores memories. Like, I've got muscle memory as part of the fibro, because the muscles store information. And so it makes it easier. You learn to shut your brain up, because your brain hasn't got a freaking clue what's going on. And you tap into your primitive knowledge, because I think our bodies are far more intelligent than our brains. And we've grown up in a society that's told us our brains are smarter than our bodies, and it's completely false. It's false knowledge. It's not true at all. Our bodies are far more intelligent than our brains. It's just learning to shut this up and shut these off from everyone else and listen and actually tune into who you are.
They call it the monkey mind, and maybe people have heard that, but the monkey brain, the monkeys, and it's always talking. It's our ego, which is 10%. We are 10% conscious, 90% subconscious. But we have this, do this. And it's really.
And also, if you go in and another step further, 80% of our thoughts aren't ours.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually picking up on what other people are thinking and what they're feeling. Yeah. And it impacts the monkey brain because we'll start picking up thoughts that don't even belong to us.
Yeah, it's like we've been programmed that way, right?
Yeah. We take on, and because we're far more intuitive and open to our environments, it's the way that we were actually designed. Humanity, we needed to tap into that collective to survive, especially, way back before we had houses and
everything. It was
we required TVs and cell phones for survival. All the crap. We needed how we felt as a collective was so important. And I think we keep thinking that we're so insular. It's just us. I feel bad. I'm having a bad day. Where you actually can sit back, and if you sit back and look, you might actually realize that it's a collective thing, that you actually can put that down. It's not you're not having a bad day. The person halfway down the hall is.
And the energy is coming on to you. And is that part of, or tell our listeners too, how you overcame the fibromyalgia? How far back does this go? When did you get it?
I was diagnosed on my 20th birthday. I was told, congratulations, you're fucked. Those weren't the words, but the way that it was described to me was like going through chemo without the benefit of, or without the side effect of death. And I was kind of like, well, shit, how do I, what do I do? Give me a prognosis. I don't want a diagnosis. I want a fucking prognosis.
Prognosis, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was none. And so I had to do a lot of research, and I fought it. I was in denial for a really long time. I was just like, screw this. I don't have fibro. And I would make myself chronically ill by triggering it off and pissing it off. The turning point for me was a combination of blood work, finding what was missing in my blood, and getting my diet right. And that was my first big stepping stone. The next big stepping stone was a car crash.
Wow.
Which 3 years ago, I had a car crash which twisted my spine.
Okay.
And I went to my osteopath and went, fuck this, I can't do this. Like, I can't wait 5 years for this to heal. Like, what am I going to do? What can I do differently? And he said, well, go and give shadow yoga a chance. It's treatment. It's osteopathy in motion, and it was a different form of yoga. You've got to use a lot more muscles, and it's a lot more strengthening. And I went and did it, and I think within 3 months I went from barely being able to walk to being able to plank without thinking.
By doing the shadow yoga, right?
By doing the shadow yoga, and it was just once a week. We had weeks where all I was doing was moving about this much, doing squats.
Okay.
And little by little. So the combination of having a really good diet and having the right exercise that worked for my body and with my body, and a good medical team, and letting the mechanic fix the car.
Yeah, that's
one thing with letting the mechanic fix the car, because there's a lot of people that I've met with fibromyalgia, and they'll go, oh, I tried, I've been to the osteo once, but it really hurt. I didn't want to go back again.
Mm-hmm.
Car can't be fixed without being rearranged. You have to. You can't go into a mechanic and say, fix my car, but don't touch it.
That's like getting one tune-up but never going back again, and 20,000 miles later your car breaks down.
Absolutely, and you've got to treat your body like a piano. Tony Robbins uses a fantastic analogy in regards to a piano, that it cannot be tuned once. So piano, when you get a brand new piano and it's restrung or whatever they do with it, it has to be retuned every other day for, I think, the first 2 weeks. And then they tune it once every second week, and then once every month, and then once every 3 months. And that's what your body is. You can't just go, okay, I want to be fit.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink a green smoothie and I'm going to lose 5 kilos. It does oh, sorry, 5 kilos is 10 pounds.
About 10 pounds, yeah.
10 pounds. It doesn't work like that. And with any health issue and things like that, you've got to actually be willing to go through the pain and learn what is healthy pain and what's unhealthy pain. And I am so grateful to be on the other side of it now, where it's only little niggles every now and then, and it's the normal things that normal people get, you know, sore knees if you've overdone it at the gym. That is where I live now, which is light years compared to who I used to be, where I used to wonder whether or not I could get up and actually reliably stand on my legs.
Yeah, and that leads, that's a perfect analogy, is light years leads right into your business, which is Nourish Your Light.
Yeah.
And it helps you now to, same with me, going through epilepsy and other diseases, spread my word. Now you are spreading your word about overcoming these obstacles and what you want to do for people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm launching Survival Diaries coming soon. I'm dying to interview a few people about not the pretty picture, the end result. I want to actually really deep dive into the hell that people had to climb out of to get to where they are. I think the personal development arena does everyone a real disservice by putting up the shiny smoke screen.
Yeah.
And look, everything's pretty. My Facebook, I'm eating perfectly, but you know, particularly in the fitness arena, like everyone's showing all the perfect prepped, you know, superfood meals, but not showing the days that they sit down and eat a Macca's burger, or I'd say
I'm eating a big burrito or the worst thing, a big pizza.
No one shows the binge. And I love the consistency of, you get to show up, however you show up is completely perfect, as long as you acknowledge it and you love it.
Yeah.
Eating that chocolate cake while hating on yourself is not treating yourself at all.
And it's going to continue.
Yeah. If you're going to eat the chocolate cake because you want to eat the chocolate cake, eat the damn chocolate cake. Mm-hmm. That's it. Stops right there.
Enjoying it and then getting it over with, not eating
it going, I shouldn't eat this.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. And that self-hatred, but yet that's our whole universe. These people, you know, there's so many of us that are behind the scenes doing these things, eating the chocolate cake, hating on themselves, and then the next day they'll post a photo of themselves eating a salad so that everyone knows that they're bright and shiny and perfect.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, they're hating themselves and aren't. And, you know, I think that's the saddest thing.
Well, that's a great point, because I've had friends and other colleagues and people say about The Secret when it came out that it was too much positive, which one of my friends that always says, oh, that's a bunch of crap, that Secret, you know, what you think about, you bring about. And it was overly positive to push it, but then it got the wrong message to people.
It's a jump.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there is negative about that, and that's what you help.
Oh, yeah. And absolutely. And I mean, The Secret creates running. There was another developmental course that I did, which was Landmark, and I found that it worked on the lid. One of the lessons that when I went there, they were like, you get to choose what you want. And so they'd have this big screaming mess that they needed to fix, their body or an emotion going, hey, can you talk to me? I want healing. And they'd go, no, I'm not going to deal with that because that's negative. And I choose to only be positive.
Yeah.
And so instead of actually dealing with it, putting it in the past, healing it completely, they put a nice big lid on it. I've apologized. I've got absolution. It's fixed now. I'm just going to fix it. If you tell me it's not fixed, I'm going to put my fingers in my ears and go, la, 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 la. I chose that it was fixed and therefore it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like that. And I think, you know, particularly with vision boards, it is so one note. Everyone's like, they're thinking about what they want. And I think the lesson of be, do, have is so important. And I think it's one of my favorite talking points and teaching points with my clients.
And tell us a little bit more. I have heard that, but so everyone knows here.
The way that society works is have, do, be. Fitness industry is probably the best one to go. If I had the body, I would do the physical activity things, then I would be happy.
Yeah.
If I had the boyfriend, I would do all this coupley stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd be happy.
If
I would be loved. Whereas it's got to be the other way round. You've got to be loved, like love in yourself. Be loved is actually a fantastic
mm-hmm.
way of putting it. Or be loving and do loving things to have the fantastic relationship that you desire. Or you've got to be positive and be motivated to do the fitness stuff, to do be committed to doing the fitness stuff, to have the body that you've always wanted. And I mean, or be the fit, active person right from the get-go, and then go and do the crazy things like climb walls and jump off things and bungee jump or whatever insane thing that you're into.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have this amazing, fantastic life instead of waiting for the have to show up. And a lot of vision boards work on that basis of have, do, be. If I had that car, if I had that house, if I had the perfect body, then everything would be perfect. Then I get to be happy. Then everything will fall into place. And that never happens. It never happens that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so how it's discussed in New Zealand about anything spiritual is it's a load of bullshit. Is the way that we kind of do a half-assed attempt of, oh no, this is, oh yeah, give it a go. And we don't put the action or the belief behind it and don't focus on
both ways work. So some people will see it as half full, the glass is half full. Some people see it as half empty. And you are a realist and is saying that it's half empty. I need to keep nourishing myself and doing this and taking steps. I don't want to be a bullshit. Right?
I mean, and why the hell would you want to be a half cup?
Yeah. Why are you satisfied with that? Right. Yeah.
Why would you want to be? And why are we like, I mean, the glass being half full and half empty, glasses can be refilled.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this, explain a little bit more too, what you do for your clients. So someone comes to you in a certain area of pain, of hardship, maybe give an example of one or what you do for people here.
So for what I love is I get a diverse range of people come to me and what I get to work with them. And like, if it is quite often, it's always a really surface thing, really, really surface. Oh, my relationship's not okay. Or, oh, I've put on a huge amount of weight and I've just had this operation and I need to get back to XYZ weight to be happy again. And generally there's always this huge undercurrent of things that haven't been acknowledged and haven't been listened to, that the weight or the crappy relationship is actually a nice, good lid for or an avoidance issue. So I always go back to what makes a person happy.
Yeah, perfect.
And really a question that no one can answer.
Mm-hmm.
Especially women, really women. Men, y'all kind of get a little bit more freedom in regards to making sure that your needs are met, whereas women, we're taught from a tiny age that we're supposed to give all of ourselves to those outside of ourselves. We're supposed to give everything to our family. We're supposed to give everything to our partner. We're not supposed, it's selfish to take time for yourself because your kids need it more.
I love that, because that's part of life is what I learned too. You have to love yourself, right? Before you can love others.
And I mean, like, and I found this for myself right at the beginning, almost 8 years ago when I started really developing myself. Sat down with a piece of paper and wrote down, what do I like?
Mm-hmm.
It took me 4 days to fill that piece of paper up properly.
Yeah.
Because
before you weren't even thinking about it. Maybe you'd think, oh, I like this day or I like this. But then when you write it down, right?
Yeah.
You see it.
And it's just like, well, what do I like to do?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time I did something I liked to do? And you sit back and it takes like, almost a week to sit back and come up with the list of things that you like to do because you're so busy in the business or so busy being stuck in survival mode of I've just got to get through today. These are the things that I have to do today. And you get to the end of the day, you've done all the things that have to be done and you feel empty because you've not done anything that actually brings you joy, or you've not taken a moment, because it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes a split second. It is just a moment. You could put on a song. You could dance or be really stupid. You can actually give yourself what you need in a second.
Exactly.
But when you're so stuck in survival mode of, I've got to get through today, I've got to get through today, I've got to get through today.
And you mentioned a key word, just. Like we say, I just have to get to work. Okay, I just have to log on. I just have to make some calls. I just. All of a sudden, the day's still just over. And you're still in this state of mind like, I didn't do enough. It just wasn't enough, right?
And then that sort of, I didn't do enough, turns into, I am not enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being enough.
That's true.
I'm not a good enough mum because I didn't do, or mom.
Mom in English, mom, I like that.
Mom for Americans, mom.
Same all over the world.
Yeah, and it is universal. It really is. At the end of the day, you kind of go, oh, I wasn't a good enough partner because I just did what was needed. And you get to the end of the week and go, God, where did the week go? And who you are as a person just slowly ebbs away.
And Pete, I could see that just talking to you and just getting to know you in the past week right here. But then what you do for people themselves is help bring that inner, but sometimes we hear the inner child out, the inner person, and they don't know. They're still caught up in this dogmatic state of, I'm doing things, and then they start listening to you. Yeah,
absolutely. And I love it. Like, I love it's not instant. I don't work on instant factors. I could give you an affirmation and tell you to piss off and just do that every day. It doesn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I actually piss people off for the first couple of weeks. And I don't warn them. I'm like, this is not going to be nice. You're not going to love me very much for the next couple of days, but I'm going to tell you some real hard stuff that you don't want to look at. But I need you to look at that before we can move forward. And I know, like, I've had some coaching sessions and I'm like, I just don't know if they're going to talk to me again. I don't know if was I too hard on them? And then a couple of weeks will come back and they'll come back to me and be like, smack on.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, wow, that thing I did not want to hear opened all of this up and all this healing took place. Or I lost 5 kilos without even really trying. Or I had this really deep conversation with my partner and I now know what I want for myself. Or my business has just improved. Yeah. My relationship with my daughter is disconnected. Or I just feel so much happier in myself because you've just opened a door that I didn't know was even.
See, and you're doing the job by using that key, and the key, and when they call you back, because the ego blocks us. Originally, they're going to say, "Oh, I don't like her. She was really mean," and blah. Then they go home and process it in a day or 2, 3 days. They're like, "Wow, she really hit home."
Yeah.
And then you hear back, huh?
And it's so sad because personal development is all about the happy surface stuff, and you cannot get change. Change does not come from that space.
Mm-hmm.
You can't build on top of a broken foundation. You cannot build on top of a broken foundation. You can take, as many courses as you like. You can read as many damn books as you like. But until you go into the darkness to come back out into the light, you've got nothing. You've got to, for me, I love seeing parts of people that they've hated on.
Mm-hmm.
And just going, hey, you can see that door, right? That's the best part of you.
And that kind of leads right into New Foundations Growth Group, my business, and interviewing you. And this has been a great interview. And I want to let our listeners know, too, just about, you can tell your contact information as well, Karyn, and how they can get a hold of you.
The easiest way to contact me is through KarynCartwright.com. It's Karyn with a Y. Hopefully we can put it in the link.
And I'll have it on there too on the page.
Choice. And there is actually options for you to be able to get on my emailing list and contact me directly through that webpage. Otherwise, I'm on Instagram. I'm everywhere, and I'm all underneath my one name, so I'm easy to find. Instagram's kind of my jam at the moment. I'm all about Instagram because I love photos.
Yeah, great with the social media aspect of it and talking to people like this.
Oh, Facebook is so sort of oppressive in one aspect, and I kind of like I love Instagram because it's short, sweet, and you don't have to keep it simple. It's
even shorter now with the next generation with Snapchat. Snapchat's like 1 day and everything disappears. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's
I can't get into Snapchat. I just cannot.
I couldn't either. But it's perfect for what you're doing. Right, Instagram is perfect for what you're doing. The kids are too fast these days with Snapchat. It's there and it's gone.
Well, I mean, visual learning is something that, because Instagram works on a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can just put up a photo that resonates with something that you don't even know it's there. And you'll see it and be drawn to it. And that is what I love about Instagram, whereas Facebook is a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
You're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and it just, the energy.
It's a journey. I think the biggest part too is what you said is people are posting all the positive, and 80%, I would say 90% is like, oh, I'm doing great in life. You never hear about a divorce or accidents. Of course, people don't want to put accidents, but there is the negative.
I get in trouble. I write like negative, like I'll be real. I'm a very, very real person, and I'll be kind of like, haven't slept in a week.
Yeah.
That's what happens after a home invasion, and I get people pull me aside and go, you can't write that. What the hell? Like, you're not supposed to write those kind of things on Facebook.
I know, see?
What the hell's that doing on Facebook? Take it down. Well, it's what I'm going through right now. No, you're not allowed to do that. And I think, that fakery really kind of wears on you.
It does.
Yeah. And I love the refreshing.
Well, that's good. That's the main part here too for our listeners, is that you've been through it all, and that's what you're helping.
Oh yeah, there's very little that I haven't been through. 5 years ago I decided, and I never had rock bottom. J.K. Rowling talks about hitting rock bottom being the foundation to rebuild your life.
Mm-hmm.
My rock bottom is kind of like that hole, the rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland. Alice falls down, going to Wonderland, that doesn't seem to stop. That was kind of mine. I had to make the choice to grab onto something and actually go, okay, so this is my rock bottom, and I'm going to climb up from this point.
Yeah, stop digging.
Stop digging and stop drawing a line in the sand. And I sort of sat down and told myself, I survived that, I can survive anything. And that was the great blessing that I did that so many years ago, because the home invasion, while it could have really easily destroyed me, it was just another thing. I was just like, well, I survived this other thing that was horrific in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a cakewalk.
It's a cakewalk, yeah.
Yeah, and it's totally different, different learning skills, different skill sets. But when you stop saying this is the worst thing that's happened to me every time something bad happens, there's a lot of freedom in that. You can kind of go, acknowledge your strength, your core strength, a strength that you don't even know. Start to acknowledge the support that you have outside of this physical plane, that you don't even know is there, that you have support, like call it the universe, you can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it whatever you need to call it to align with your spiritual values. There is definitely a team of people behind you if you just learn how to tap into that energy.
It's really just opening the mind and opening the universe and opening our thoughts, and not having this block of it has to be my way, the right way that I was taught. Or
the story of I'm weak. I think some of the strongest people I've ever met have had horrific things happen to them in quick succession, like a series of unfortunate events, because they keep telling themselves they're weak.
Yeah.
And so the universe keeps giving them opportunities to prove how strong they are, but they keep dissociating themselves with their strength. And so this stuff keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening. And again, it's every little bad thing that happens is so huge. And oh my God, how am I going to survive? Then it's just like I sit back and go, well, hold on, you survived that.
Some people don't try hard enough. And Les Brown put it best when he says some people don't set their goals high enough because they don't think they can do it, but they set their goals low enough and they achieve it.
Oh yeah.
Get anywhere. We have that. We set it, we want to be able to achieve something, but you won't get anywhere, right? It's just.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes, if you're setting a goal to please others, it's not a goal at all.
Yeah.
It's not an achievement. It's empty and it's hollow. You can set a goal of earning $1 million, but if you're doing that to impress somebody else and you're doing it in a soulless way that doesn't align with your values, you're more likely than anything to end up very, very ill. You'll have $1 million in the bank, you'll impress other people, but be miserable on the inside, and we'll then have to turn around and say, what is it the Dalai Lama says? That men are stupid. They sacrifice health for money, and then they have to sacrifice that wealth.
Yeah, that's what it all turns around.
And it just kind of, you get in this stupid loop. And I think if you're setting goals aligned to your true values, It's walking in the light. And when you're walking in the light, everything sort of seems to flow in a lot easier, and things happen effortlessly. Like what we were talking about before the recording in regards to my daughter's vision board, or vibration board is what I prefer to call it. She had no intentions set behind that. It was all vibration. What made her happy, what she liked to look at. At the end of it, everything that was on that board that made her happy, she actually managed to manifest. Because there was no attachment. There was no fear of failure. There was no win or lose. It was that board. That makes me happy.
That's awesome. And to our listeners too, I think that reciprocates to the area that you deal with any age, and of course men, women, but it seems specifically with women that you're helping, because nourishing your inner light, what you're talking about here, seeing your daughter go through this change at a young age, but what women go through at any age is what you're able to help with. So
I mean, what I have learned is what I went through in a very, very young age at a very, very concentrated speed. I could have gone through all of this stuff over the next 50 years of my life. I've just been fortunate enough to get it all over and done with at a very young age.
Yeah, and now start helping people too.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you know, I talk to people and they're like, oh, you're so young. But I'm like, I can understand where they're coming from, because I can see the picture blowing up, and how you kind of develop these feelings over the years, and how they manifest, and how they impact on each other, and sort of build and build and build and build. And I just get the benefit of being able to go right through the middle of this.
Well, that's awesome, Karyn. I appreciate your time with us here. Once again, it's Karyn Cartwright, and KarynCartwright.com. I'll have the information here down below as I post this on our website here, which is clickforgrowth.com, for a New Foundations Growth Group, and interviewing wonderful people like yourself, and hearing what you're doing for yourself, your family, those around you, and all the clients that come to you seeking help and growth. And it's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks to everyone out there on the internet land for listening in and tuning in. Lovely to meet you all.
Great. Take care.
Cool. See ya.